Central Virginia's longest-running high school academic quiz show. Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan. And now, host Cheryl Miller.
Hello and good morning. Thanks so much for joining us for Battle of the Brains. I'm Cheryl Miller. Battle of the Brains continues this season as we're now down to the Final Four. Our winner today will compete for this year's Battle of the Brains Championship. Congratulations to both of our teams today for making it to the finals. Joining us remotely, today's teams are the Patriots of First Colonial High School, coached by Carl Naki. First Colonial High School is part of the Virginia Beach City Public School District. The school's mission is to provide quality education through shared responsibility in a safe, supporting environment for all students and are committed to excellence. The school is home to the Legal Studies Academy. Also with us today, the Comets of Granby High School, coached by Rob Lemure. Granby High School is a public school in Norfolk. It's the only high school in the district that offers an international baccalaureate program. Granby's stated mission is to raise the bar so that all students will be well prepared for college and the world of work. Again, welcome and congratulations to the last of our Final Four matchup teams today. Now, because we can't all be together, here's how our game has changed to accommodate for remote play. We will have toss-up rounds, but questions will be directed team to team. We'll alternate between them. Players wishing to answer will raise their hand and wait for me to call on them, and there will be no point deduction for an incorrect answer. All right, teams, good luck. Let's start the first toss-up round. The first question going to First Colonial. The 6 months long days and nights that occur at the polls start and end with these events. Name these days in March and September when day and night, in theory, each last exactly 12 hours. Anderson.
The equinoxes.
That is correct. Granby, Maracaibo is one of the petroleum centers of the world. In what South American country is this city located? Nathan.
Venezuela.
That is correct. First Colonial, what former U.S. Senator and Vice President lost the disputed 2000 presidential election to George W. Bush? Anderson.
Al Gore.
Correct. Granby. In Norse mythology, Valhalla, Gladsheim, and Vingolf were the halls of the gods located in what realm of the gods, a fortified home in the sky? Matthew.
Asgard.
Correct. First Colonial. This man's early works include Sleeping Beauty and Swan Lake. Name this Russian composer of the 1812 overture. Grace.
Tchaikovsky.
That is correct. Granby. Built in Constantinople on the orders of Justinian, it is one of the largest houses of worship ever built. Name this mosque that ultimately fell into the hands of the Ottoman Turks during the fall of the Byzantine Empire in 1453. Mark.
The Hagia Sophia.
That is correct. First Colonial. Thalassemias are disorders that cause abnormality in these cells, which in humans are biconcave and lack nuclei. What are these cells that supply oxygen to all parts of the body and are deformed in people with sickle cell anemia? Anderson.
Red blood cells.
Red blood cells is correct. Granby. In the 1860s, this Virginia fort harbored thousands of fugitive slaves. Named for a U.S. president, located where Hampton Roads meets the Chesapeake Bay, what is this former military installation? Matthew.
Fort Monroe.
That is correct. First Colonial. You may need your pencil and paper for this one. If a horse race is 1,760 yards long, how many miles is the race? Anderson.
1.
That is correct. All right, our next question goes to our team from Granby. You may need your pencil and paper for this one. Use 22/7 to approximate pi. Paul wants to paint the interior of a circle with a diameter of 14 feet. How many square feet of paint are needed to cover that area? The answer we were looking for, 154 square feet. First Colonial, name the term given to any of two or more forms of a chemical having the same number of protons in the nucleus or the same atomic number, but having different neutrons in the nucleus or different atomic weights. Anderson.
Isotopes.
That is correct. All right, Granby, please watch the screen and listen closely. Here is your Virginia-based video question from a member of the Battle of the Brains Brainy Bunch.
Revolutionary War General Lord Cornwallis had 2 dogs named after Roman gods. Which 2 were they?
Matthew.
Oops.
Matthew?
Mercury and Mars.
They were Mars and Jupiter. First Colonial, what is the 2-word legal name given to a government's ability to take private property for public use without the owner's consent? Grace.
Eminent domain.
That is correct. And that buzzer means our first toss-up round is done. Good job by our team so far, but there are a lot more questions to come. Up next, we'll meet today's players, then they'll take on the category round here on Battle of the Brains.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.
Here are the scores following the first toss-up round here on Battle of the Brains. Our team from First Colonial High School with 70 points. Our team from Granby High School with 40 points. And we'll get back to our match just ahead. But first, we want you to meet today's players. Let's start by meeting our team from First Colonial High School in Virginia Beach. They are the Patriots. Their coach is Carl Nocky. All the team members attend the school's Legal Studies Academy. We begin with Kelsey Conklin. Kelsey is a senior who plans to major in English when she gets to college. She loves to read and is captain of the school's travel softball team. The team captain is Anderson Smith. Anderson enjoys reading, is captain of the school's cross-country, track, and debate teams, and hopes to become a veterinarian. Next up is Justice Menzel, who's a senior, who is a musician, plays French horn in the school's wind ensemble, and plans to study English in college. And wrapping up our team from First Colonial is Grace Coleman. Grace is a violinist in the chamber orchestra, captain of the school's speech and debate teams, and hopes to study environmental science and economics in college. That's our team from First Colonial High School. Good to have you here with us, making it to the Final Four. Now let's meet our team from Granby High School in Norfolk. They are the Comets. Their coach is Rob Lemure. First up is Mark Greco, who is a sophomore who would like to have a job related in some way to history, likes to cook and play video games. Next up is our team captain, Matthew Larkin, who is a senior. He's an Eagle Scout, plays volleyball and tennis, is a member of the school's International Baccalaureate Diploma program. Hobbies include hiking, eating, reading, and bike riding, and is going to be going to UVA in the fall. Congratulations. Next up is Nathan McCarty, who is on the school's Scholastic Bowl team in his 3rd year now, enjoys the beach, and would like to continue education in college. And our final player on the team is Navali Baxendale, who is a senior, is in the International Baccalaureate Diploma program. Favorite animals are Herber seals. They are kind of cute. Plays soccer and wants to study anthropology and art history and hopefully go into museum education. That's our team from Granby High School, also part of the Final Four here this season on Battle of the Brains. Now, to our category round. Each team will select one 10-question category from today's choices. If a team gets all of its questions correct in the allotted time, we'll give them a 20-point bonus. Teams, take a look here at today's categories from which you may choose. They are cartoon characters, famous fictional pets, and opera. And we do note that in this round, only the captains can officially answer for the team, though they may confer with their teammates to try to come up with the correct answers. Now, per battle rules, the high score team gets first choice of category. That team today is First Colonial High School. Anderson, if you could please open your microphone, quickly talk it over with your teammates, and let me know what category you would like to play.
We'll take cartoon characters, Cheryl.
All right, from the clues, identify the following well-known cartoon characters. The first is Mouse, always chased by Tom the cat.
Jerry.
Absolutely. Hunter, who wanted to kill that wascally wabbit Bugs Bunny.
Elmer Fudd.
That's correct. Lucy's brother in the Peanuts comics.
Linus.
Correct. Also known as Agent P on Phineas and Ferb.
Perry the Platypus.
Correct. Sylvester the cat always tries to catch this canary.
What? Tweety Bird. Tweety Bird.
Correct. SpongeBob's boss.
Mr. Krabs.
Correct. Bubbles, Blossom, and Buttercup.
The Powerpuff Girls.
Correct. Disney Junior leader of the Neverland Pirates.
Jake.
Correct. He is smarter than Wile E. Coyote.
The Road Runner.
Correct. And finally, Mordecai and Rigby's boss.
Who? Benson.
That is correct, and that is a sweep of the cartoon characters category and a 20-point bonus for our team from First Colonial High School. All right, Granby, you're on deck now for our category round. Your category will either be famous fictional pets or opera. Matthew, if you could turn on your microphone for me and quickly talk it over with your teammates, let me know what category you would like to play.
All right, so we're not doing opera, right? Yeah. So no opera. So we know what we're doing then. Okay. We're gonna do famous fictional pets.
All right, given the description, name the famous pet. First is the monkey who lives with the man with the yellow hat.
Curious George.
Correct. Lilo's friend, experiment 626.
Stitch.
Correct. The dog in the Garfield comics.
Odie.
Correct. The big red dog from books and TV.
Clifford.
Correct. Shaggy's canine best friend.
Scooby-Doo.
Correct. On Adventure Time, Finn's companion.
Jake the dog.
That is correct. Harry Potter's owl.
Hedwig.
Correct. Hiccup Horrendous Haddock the Third's dragon.
Toothless.
Correct. Elmo's pet fish.
What? Guppy.
It would be Dorothy. And in The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy's dog.
Toto.
And that is correct. Up next, another toss-up round when we come back here on Battle of the Brains.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.
Here are the scores following the category round here on Battle of the Brains. First Colonial High School with 140 points, Granby High School with 85 points. Now back to Battle of the Brains and another toss-up round. Again, questions are being alternated between the teams. There are no point deductions for any incorrect answers. Our rotation continues. The first question goes to Granby in this round. Also known as Messier 31, what is the closest spiral galaxy to the Milky Way? Navale.
Andromeda.
That is correct. First Colonial, you may need your pencil and paper for this one. Given the following sequence, 17, 19, 23, 29, there are two numbers that could be the next possible number in the sequence. Name both. And they are the prime numbers 31 and 37. Granby, in 1860, this man was the presidential candidate of the Northern Democrats, but won only 12 electoral votes. Name this Illinois senator who engaged Abraham Lincoln in a series of debates about slavery. Matthew.
Douglas.
Stephen Douglas is correct. First Colonial, the fundamental equation of this branch of physics equates two tensors, one of which represents stress, energy, and momentum, the other the curvature of space-time. Name this 1915 theory of Albert Einstein that incorporated gravity. Anderson.
Relativity.
That is correct.
General relativity? Okay.
The general theory of relativity. Granby, he helped build the 26th of July movement in Mexico, returning to his native country in 1956 to overthrow Fulgencio Batista. Name this man who then became dictator of Cuba. Nathan.
Fidel Castro.
That is correct. First Colonial, this character's adventures put him at odds with Cardinal Richelieu of France, who eventually made him lieutenant of the Musketeers. Named this hot-headed character of Alexander Dumas' classic novel, and three more centered around him specifically. Justice.
D'Artagnan?
That is correct. Granby, which woodwind instrument that serves as a band's soprano voice has a tubular shape and requires pressing keys that cover the tone holes? Matthew.
Flute.
The flute is correct. All right, First Colonial. Please watch the screen and listen closely. Here is your Virginia-based question from a member of the Battle of the Brains Brainy Bunch.
Hampton Roads is the United States' largest exporting port for what type of fuel?
Justice.
Coal?
Coal is correct. Good job on that. Granby, you may need your pencil and paper for this one. Joe is building a 6x6 magic square in which each row, column, and diagonal will add up to the same sum. If Joe uses the numbers 1 to 36 to construct the square, what will the sum of every row be? And the answer is 111. First Colonial, on August 18, 1590, John White returned here from a supply mission to England on his granddaughter Virginia Dare's 3rd birthday. What is the actual name for what was later called the Lost Colony? Kelsey.
Roanoke.
Need you to be more specific, judges are asking for.
The colony of Roanoke.
Repeat, please.
The colony of Roanoke.
Judges are saying we will accept that. It's the Roanoke Island Colony. And that buzzer means one more toss-up round ahead, and we'll have today's winner, who will go on to play for the 2022 championship here on Battle of the Brains. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.
And here are the scores as we head now into the final round here on Battle of the Brains. First Colonial High School with 180 points, Granby High School with 125 points. Now for this final toss-up round, the point score for a correct answer is doubled, and there is no deduction for an incorrect answer. And again, in this virtual version of Battle of the Brains, we're directing questions to teams or alternating between them in these timed rounds. We're going to start this first toss-up round. The alternation goes to Granby High School right now. Your question: what is the term for electrons in the outer shell of an atom that are responsible for the chemical properties of the atom? Navale.
Valence electrons.
That is correct. First Colonial, while banished for 3 years, this man sailed 500 miles to west to find Cape Farewell. He returned to Iceland in 986 to find settlers to bring to the new land. Name this Viking discoverer of Greenland the father of Leif Erikson. Anderson.
Eric the Red.
That is correct. Granby. In his book, The Grapes of Wrath, John Steinbeck called this the Mother Road. Name this 2,400-mile highway that starts in Chicago and ends in Los Angeles. Navali.
Route 66.
That is correct. First Colonial, which Irish author of music criticism like The Perfect Wagnerite also wrote plays Peasant and Unpleasant, such as The Major Barbara and Pygmalion? Anderson.
Shaw.
George Bernard Shaw is correct. Granby, the placement of this building relative to those nearby may be an earthly reflection of Orion's belt. Name this tomb of Khufu near the Great Sphinx of Giza. Matthew.
The Great Pyramid.
That is correct. First Colonial, James Madison was the first American president to use this technique. What is the term that a bill passed by Congress does not become law when the president does nothing after 10 days, excluding Sundays, when Congress is not in session? Anderson.
Pocket veto.
That is correct. Granby, this island named for the Dutch explorer who sighted it in 1642, has its capital at Hobart. Name this Australian island with a namesake wolf and devil. Matthew.
Tasmania.
Correct. First Colonial, James Bond's gadget master, Q, has appeared in nearly all of the films. Q is actually an abbreviation of a military title and the character's occupation. What is this term? Anderson.
Quartermaster.
Quartermaster is correct. Granby, what is the well-known aphorism described by this alternate terminology? Members of an avian species of identical plumage congregate. Mark.
Birds of a feather fly together.
Repeat for me, please.
birds of a feather fly together.
The judge is saying no. It's birds of a feather flock together. First Colonial. This unusual plant grows in the southern part of the United States. Name this insectivore that can take up to 12 days to digest an insect. Grace.
Venus flytrap.
Correct. Granby. In 1995, a routine traffic stop by Chicago police reclaimed a $650,000 stolen painting by which famous artist whose works include The Blue Room and Guernica? Matthew.
Picasso.
Pablo Picasso is correct. First Colonial. The War of the Spanish Succession was fought during the 72-year reign of what French Sun King? Anderson.
Louis XIV.
Correct. Granby. This book's depiction of inhumane conditions led to the passage of the Pure Food and Drug Act. Name this expose of the meatpacking industry written by Upton Sinclair. Matthew.
The Jungle.
That is correct. First Colonial. What term in physics is defined as a unit of work equal to 10 to the 7th power or 1 Newton through a distance of 1 meter? Anderson.
A watt.
It would be a joule. And that buzzer is the end of our game. While our judges double-check the final score and determine who will go on to play for the season championship, here's a reminder of how to stay connected with us here at Battle of the Brains. To find out more about our show, just log on to battleofthebrains.net. You'll also find Battle of the Brains on Facebook and full episodes of our show on our YouTube page. And join us next week for the championship match as the final 2 teams standing this season face off. The team from Douglas Freeman High School of Richmond will play today's winner, and that is First Colonial High School of Virginia Beach. Congratulations. The final score of 300 points sends you to the finals here on Battle of the Brains this year. Great job today by Kelsey, Anderson, Justice, and Grace. And our runners-up in today's match, great job by our team from Granby High School, Mark, Matthew, Nathan, and Navali. Thanks for playing along. And we're looking forward to that championship game coming up next week. I'm Cheryl Miller. Thanks so much for watching and playing along here on Battle of the Brains. We'll see you next week.
Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.